Joshua Eisenhower, a U.S. Army soldier, suffered severe and debilitating wounds while serving in Afghanistan. He now suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and has traumatic brain injury, TBI, as a direct result of these injuries. The PTSD has caused Joshua to have flashbacks on multiple occasions, including the night of January 13, 2012, when members of the Fayetteville, North Carolina Fire Department came to his apartment in response to a small fire in his apartment complex. When the firemen tried to forcibly enter the apartment, Joshua instinctively resisted, believing that he was under attack in Afghanistan. Although Joshua shot no one in that confrontation, the district attorney in Fayetteville is prosecuting a criminal complaint against Joshua and has been holding him in jail since February 2012. He has yet to receive appropriate treatment for his PTSD. To learn of the events which led to these incidents, please view Help Ike, The War on Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, PTSD, on YouTube.
I mean, basically, it started out. I went to Afghanistan, second tour, came down from higher, from like brigade level, that there was noticing my mental health problems. I didn't want to leave my guys. I didn't want to leave my guys at all. I didn't want to leave Afghanistan to what we were doing there. I mean, sitting there and basically having incoming mortar rounds and vehicle-borne IEDs and sitting there just waiting to get blown up. I didn't want to leave them there. It was the hardest thing. It was one of the hardest things I had to do.
Between the stress of war and abandonment, Joshua started suffering severe anxiety.
What they gave me, first it was Ambien, and they said I had to go see combat stress, which is part of the Air Force, and they put me on trazodone.
But these medications weren't fixing the problem. They were only a Band-Aid covering them up.
I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. I was, isolating. When I got to Kuwait and I saw combat stress the second time, I felt something was wrong. Something was wrong, and I went into a full-blown anxiety attack. I talked to the officer that was in charge, head of combat stress, and I got diagnosed with PTSD January 2010. They stopped me on trazodone, and they put me on 7 days of Xanax. They put me on Lunesta, too.
While these medications were typically fast-acting, they weren't a lasting solution to the issues.
I was on 7 days of that, and then when I came back, then we started me on Zoloft.
Despite these aids, Joshua's condition didn't improve.
Just like I wasn't even able to take care of myself outside. I was forgetting to eat. I was forgetting to shave before I went to work. That's the thing that I've been doing for years, in the military. I was forgetting how to take care of myself. I've been consumed by all this stuff. All it's been is medical. But then again, it's been here's meds. I feel like 100% guinea pig.
Despite the fact that the military diagnosed Joshua with PTSD, they weren't giving him the help or counseling needed. The help and counseling they guaranteed him. His condition worsened, which led to the incident on January 13th, 2012.
This is when I first got locked up. I was all of a sudden saw people and I guess realized what I was being charged with, and I was like, what? I didn't even know what was going on. I don't want to make anybody look bad. I don't want to be a burden on anybody. I didn't want anybody to know about this, and I was ready to go.
By go, Joshua meant take his own life, an end far too many soldiers have met.
I felt totally alone. I felt abandoned. I felt there was no safe place to go. You know, the cell being my safest place, you know, my bed, but just no safe place. It was frustrating with all the medications and all the side effects. You know, I had some horrible side effects. Sometimes they were like, oh, they'll just pass by, and they never did pass by. Reliving events for more, reliving how I've been treated. You know, and I try to just make myself numb to it, and I try to forget it, but I don't forget it. It's seared. These images and these memories, they're seared into my memory. It is horrible. This is one big nightmare. Some medications they were able to consistently keep me on. Other stuff it was seesawing. You know, you're throwing medication at me, and then you're not giving me medication that you could be giving me. I'd get medication, and then it would run out, and they'd have to get a renewal for it. So then I'd go through withdrawals. The migraine medication that did work for me was Maxol, which is a non-narcotic which dissolves under your tongue, and they couldn't get it approved for me. It was a complete nightmare, and it constantly is.
Here is a link to what is considered recommended and approved medications for PTSD now from the VA. Unfortunately, the NCDPS is not set up to provide intensive PTSD treatment. They were taking Joshua on and off of medications as they dealt with pharmacy issues that haven't been explained to us.
I mean, I've talked to the chaplain in Central Prison, and, you know, I had a social worker, and I've also had a psychiatrist, but the psychiatrist in mental health really didn't really have time. How can I dive into something when I have no safe place to go, and then I don't see a doctor for, you know, a month later? But the thing is they're limited too. I think they got as frustrated too as I was, because they couldn't do things to help me.
In addition to therapy, things which help PTSD are peace and quiet.
There hasn't been a quiet night since I've been in prison. Whether it be other inmates or staff to my own self, what's going on in my mind, and what's racing through my mind at, you know, at 100 miles an hour. I get put in prison, and it's like a war zone of itself. Prison's like a war zone. You got gangs, you got this, you got left, you got this right, and then if I try to defend myself, I'm in trouble. That makes no sense. You know, I've been studying everything. I've been trying to forget everything. I've been trying to wipe my memory. But the thing is I'm not. It all comes back. It all comes back. I think for me to even reach the depths of this stuff, I need intensive PTSD therapy.
Yet despite all the hardships and betrayals, Joshua still holds allegiance to the Army.
First off, I love the Army, and I still love the Army. Future goals is to get into a VA PTSD intensive treatment program, and also look at getting a PTSD dog.
Let's do what we can to help Joshua get the treatment he needs and deserves. The treatment the Army promised him.